Day class. We are now on the last lesson for our subject in Fundamentals of Accountancy, Business and Management 1. So bago tayo magpatuloy, ano nga ba yung ating diniscuss nung mga nakaraang linggo, yung ating huling lesson? Ang diniscuss natin noon ay tungkol sa pagre-record ng mga transactions ng merchandising business, particularly journalizing, tapos posting sa ledgers, gayon din yung sa mga special books. Okay? Like the purchase journal, sales journal, tapos yung ating ledgers, we have the general ledger and the subsidiary ledger. Yung subsidiary ledgers, most commonly, ay yung accounts payable at saka accounts receivable ledgers. So, ngayon, ang ating aaralin ay tungkol sa adjusting entries, yung accounting cycle ng merchandising business, at saka yung pag-prepare ng statement of cost of goods sold and gross profit. Yung dalawa, adjusting entries at saka accounting cycle, same ito doon sa service type of business. So, ano na nga yung 5 basic sources of adjusting entries? The first one, we have depreciation expense. Number 2, deferred expenses or prepaid expenses. Number 3, deferred income or unearned income. Number 4, accrued expenses or accrued liabilities. Number 5, accrued income or accrued assets. Ito rin yung mga diniscuss natin doon nga sa service type of business. So let's just have a little sort of overview ng mga accounts na ito. Unang-una, depreciation. Depreciation is a method of allocating the cost of an asset to an expense over the accounting periods that make up assets' useful life. Examples of assets subject to depreciation are store, office, building, and transportation equipment. So, yung mga equipment na yan, subject for depreciation. Yung pag-depreciate, ang idea nito ay yung cost ng specific asset na yon ay binabawi natin. Pero, utay-utay, kumbaga. So, parang installment na binabawi natin. Allocating the cost of an asset to an expense over the accounting period. So, kung halimbawa ang isang equipment sa tansya ng management, ito ay tatagal ng 5 years. So, i-allocate natin siya, yung cost niya, kung straight line method of depreciation, simple, i-divide lang natin siya 5 years. At syempre, yun ay on a yearly basis. Syempre, yung monthly, divide mo pa rin siya ng 12 months para naman dun sa monthly preparation natin ng financial statement. So these types of assets lose their ability to provide useful service as time passes. Nababawasan daw yung kanilang usefulness habang tumatagal. Depreciation can also be referred to as the decrease in the usefulness of these types of assets. Take note that land is not subject to depreciation because the value of land mostly increases as time passes. Hindi natin dinidepreciate ang land kasi nga, habang tumatagal, tumataas ang value ng lupa. Number 2, deferred expenses or prepaid expenses. There are items that have been initially recorded as assets but are expected to become expenses over time or through the operations of the business. So may dalawang bagay ito pagdating dyan sa assets, no? O kaya i-expense mo yung particular asset. For example, bumili ka ng supplies, okay, worth 100,000. So, depende yan sa method na ginamit nung management sa pag-record nung binili mong supplies. So, kung ang ginamit niya initially ay prepaid supplies or supplies, ang method na ito ay asset method. Pagdating sa adjusting entries, gagamitin mo naman ang expense method kasi nga, over time, may nagagamit tayo. So, kailangan nating ipakita kung ano yung portion, magkano yung portion ng actually expended doon sa supplies. And then, kung ang ginamit naman initially ay expense method, pagdating sa adjusting entry, ang gagamitin naman ay asset method. So, dun naman sa mga account titles na gagamitin, common sense lang din yan. Alam mo kung alin ang magiging prepaid, alam mo naman kung magkano yung magiging used or expenses. So, yan yung titingnan natin sa recording ng adjusting entries. Number 3, we have deferred income or unearned income. These are items that have been initially recorded as liabilities but are expected to become income over time or through the operations of the business. Ganun din yung kanyang idea. Initially, nire-record siya as liabilities. Pero over time, nire-recognize natin yung income. So, deferred income or unearned income. Number 4, accrued expenses or accrued liabilities. There are items of expenses that have been incurred but have not been recorded and paid. Examples nito yung ating mga Meralco bill, di ba? Minsan, nandiyan na yung ilang bills tapos hindi agad natin nababayaran at the end of the month. Kasi, usually, mababayaran natin yan after that month. So, yung susunod na buwan. So, nag-recognize tayo na accrued expenses. Number 5, accrued income or accrued others. There are income items that have been earned but have not been recorded and paid by the customer. In short, these are receivables of the business. So, para siyang accounts receivable. Pero ginagamit natin accrued income or accrued income receivable. So, these are the 5 basic sources of adjusting entries. Yung mga examples nito, guys, ay yun ding examples na binigay natin doon sa service type of business. They have the same idea and process. The next is completing the accounting cycle. So, as a sort of review, yung step 1 natin sa accounting cycle is the transaction. Number 2, journal entries. Number 3, posting. Number 4, trial balance. And then, preparation ng worksheet. And then, mula sa worksheet, determine natin yung mga adjusting journal entries. And then, preparation of financial statements. And then, number 8 is closing the books. The preparation of financial statements and closing of the books or the closing entries after the adjusting entries are the next step to complete the accounting cycle of merchandising business. So, yung closing entries, sabi ko nga, same lang din ito doon sa principles, procedures noong ating service type of business. All of the nominal revenue accounts should be closed to the income summary brought by a debit to revenue and credit to income summary. Ano ba yung mga nominal accounts? Ito yung mga matatagpuan dun sa income statement. Sila yung mga temporary accounts. Sila yung at the end of the accounting period, magiging zero na. Unlike yung mga permanent accounts, kagaya ng cash, accounts receivable, cumulative sila, meron silang balance at the end of the period at yung balance na yun, carry over naman siya sa susunod na buwan. Sila yung mga permanent accounts. Itong nominal accounts, ito yung mga temporary accounts at mawawala sila, mag-zero sila at the end of the period. So, anong ginagawa natin dyan? Lahat ng naka-credit, para i-close mo siya, i-debit mo siya, tapos ibabangga mo siya sa income summary or income and expense summary, whichever. Okay? So, ganun din naman lahat ng mga debit sa journal entry natin, i-credit naman natin at ibabangga doon sa income summary pa rin. Okay? The merchandise inventory beginning is closed to income summary account by a debit to income summary and credit to merchandise inventory. The merchandise inventory ending is set up in the books by a debit to merchandise inventory ending and credit to income summary. The amount that will be used as a result of the physical count. Kasi nga, merchandising business, usually ginamit natin ay periodic type of inventory, nagkakaroon tayo ng physical count. The balance in the income summary account should now reflect the net income for the accounting period. The next journal entry should close the income summary account to the equity or capital account. If there is a net profit, this entry will be a debit to income summary and a credit to owner's capital. Once the closing journal entries have been entered into the general journal, the information should be posted to the general ledger. When this is accomplished, all the nominal accounts in the general ledger should have zero balances. To double check on this, we prepare another trial balance based on the new balances in the general ledger. If we have any nominal accounts with positive balances, a mistake was made along the way and will need to be corrected before proceeding to the next accounting period. So kung meron daw pagkakamali nakita, dapat ay tinitrace at tinatama. So tingnan natin itong example, itong general journal na closing entries. So dito sa January 30, 2020, naka-debit si sales. Tapos naka-credit si sales discount. So normally, ang sales ay credit. Since ito ay closing entries, i-debit natin siya. Si sales discount ay nandyan sa credit pa rin kasi binawas siya doon sa binayaran ng customer, nagkaroon siya ng discount. So yung kanilang difference ay binangga sa income summary. Yan, this is to close nominal revenue account. Yung ating purchases naman, normally ito ay debit at contra purchases ay yung discount. And then sa closing entry, we should debit income summary and then i-credit natin si purchases. So para mag-zero out si purchases. Also, yung iba pang mga normally dinedebit natin pagdating ng journal entry during the course of the business. Like yung mga expenses, yung salary expense, supplies expense, advertising expense, rental expense, depreciation expense, fuels expense. Yan. Kinikredit sila para maisara naman sa income summary. And then yung merchandise inventory ending ay dedebit natin, then credit sa income summary. This is to set up merchandise inventory ending. After these entries, the income summary account has a balance of, ito ay yung total credit, 82,152 plus 438,700 is equals to 520,852. Ito yung total credit. Pinag-add mo lang yung dalawang yan. Yung total debit naman is 83,910. Yan yung income summary account, no? The last closing entry is to close the balance of income summary to the capital account. So, ito na yung huli natin gagawin. Iko-close naman natin yung difference nung debit credit doon sa income summary. Ibabangga natin ito sa capital. So, yung kanyang journal entry ay debit mo, income summary, yun nga yung net or the credit balance. 36,942. Then, credit mo siya sa capital. 36,942. Ibig sabihin ito, after ng closing ng income summary to capital, yung capital natin of the preceding period ay nadagdagan ng 36,942. So, yan ang effect niya pagdating sa capital. Now, let us talk about the preparation of the statement of cost of goods sold. Yung cost of goods sold ay makikita natin sa income statement or the statement of comprehensive income. The cost of goods sold, also referred to as the cost of sales or cost of services, is how much it costs to produce your products or services. Cost of goods sold include direct material and direct labor expenses that go in the production of each good or service that is sold. When calculating the cost of goods sold, do not include the cost of creating goods or services that you do not sell. So, yung walang kinalaman sa pag-produce ng goods na yun ay hindi raw isasama. Cost of goods sold does not include indirect expenses like overhead costs. Do not factor things like utilities, marketing expenses, or shipping fees into the cost of goods sold. To find the cost of goods sold on a product, add up the cost of raw materials and direct labor needed to create it. Direct labor lamang ang isasama sa cost of goods sold. Tapos yung cost ng raw materials. So usually ito ay dun sa manufacturing type of business. Mayroon direct labor tsaka mayroong raw materials. Yun yung kasama sa cost of goods sold. To find the cost of goods sold during an accounting period, use the cost of goods sold formula or COGS. So COGS is equals to beginning inventory plus purchases during the period minus ending inventory. Your beginning inventory is whatever inventory is left over from the previous period, then add the cost of what you have purchased during the period. Subtract whatever inventory you did not sell at the end of the period. Accounting periods might be months, quarters, or calendar years. So, yun yung cost of goods sold. Later on, makita nyo example nitong statement na ito. Now, what is gross profit? Gross profit is the profit a company makes after deducting the costs associated with making and selling its products, or the cost associated with providing its services. Gross profit will appear on a company's income statement and can be calculated by subtracting the cost of goods sold from revenue or sales. These figures can be found on a company's income statement. Gross profit may also be referred to as sales profit or gross income. The formula for gross profit is equals to revenue minus cost of goods sold. So, nakita nyo, andito si cost of goods sold. Para daw makuha natin si gross profit, yung sales natin, sales profit or gross income, or yung revenue, ay babawasan natin na cost of goods sold. Paano nakuha si cost of goods sold? Ito na siya. Example, yung Aguila Merchandising Worksheet, no? For the month ending January 30, 2020. So, ito ay worksheet. Meron kasing adjusted trial balance, the income statement, saka yung statement of financial position. So, dito tayo magko-concentrate sa income statement. Diyan natin kukunin ang ating data para sa paggawa ng cost of goods sold saka yung makuha natin yung gross profit. So, itong portion na to, income statement yan. Tandaan natin, to compute for the cost of goods sold, ito, beginning inventory plus the cost of goods purchased or the purchases is equals to cost of goods available for sale minus natin si ending inventory, yun na si cost of goods sold. Ibig sabihin, yung halaga ng mga ibinenta natin, kinukuha natin yung kanilang cost. The proper format of the income statement and the schedule of cost of goods sold for Aguila for January 2020 are presented below. Aguila Merchandising, schedule of cost of goods sold for the month ended January 30, 2020. Ito yung format ng paggagawa ng statement of cost of goods sold. Tingnan nyo, meron pa rin heading, Aguila Merchandising, schedule of cost of goods sold for the month ended. So, yun yung heading niya. Tapos ito na yung information na dapat natin makita sa statement na ito. Merchandise inventory beginning. So, kung start ka pa lang ng operation ng business, wala ka pang beginning inventory. So, 0. Add mo yung mga purchases, mga binili mong merchandise inventory. Less mo yung discount, less din natin yung mga returns and allowances. And then, pag nabawasan natin yun, ito na yung cost of goods available for sale. Available for sale. Okay? Last natin ang merchandise inventory ending. Ito yung as a result of the physical count at the end of the year. So, 438,700. So, yung beginning plus purchases, less mo yung inventory ending, nakukuha na natin si cost of goods sold, which is dito, 12,490. And guys, take note, no? Dito kasi naka open and close parenthesis pa siya. Usually, kapag tayo ay gumamit na ng less, hindi na tayo gumagamit ng open and close parenthesis. To compute for gross profit is equals revenue minus cost of goods sold. In this income statement, nakita natin yung gross sales. Okay? 83,562. Kabuuang benta. Less sales discount. Less din natin yung mga returns and allowances. Then we come up with the net sales. Less natin si cost of goods sold. Yung 12,490. Balikan natin. Ito yung prepare natin na schedule of cost of goods sold. Ang final figure dyan ay 12,490. I-minus natin siya dito kay net sales. Then, nakuha natin si gross profit na 69,662. Then, less expenses mula sa gross profit, i-less naman natin ang mga expenses. Salaries, advertising, rental, depreciation, utilities expense, kung ano pa, ibawas natin yung mga yon, then we will come up with net income. So, yan ang ating income statement. Pagkatapos ng net income, nasa baba niya, nakalagay naman dyan yung tax. Diba? Tax due. And then, sa baba pa nun, dito natin mapapakita yung net income after tax. So, therefore, kapag naglagay tayo ng tax due rito, ilagay natin dito, net income before tax. O, same effect lang din naman yan. So, ganyan ang pag-prepare ng income statement alongside with the statement of cost of goods sold. Now, for our question of the week, how do you calculate cost of goods sold on or in an income statement? Letter A, the COGS plus beginning inventory plus purchases during the period less ending inventory. Letter B, COGS is equals to beginning inventory plus additional inventory minus ending inventory. Letter C, gross income is equals to gross revenue minus COGS. Letter D, net income plus revenue minus COGS minus expenses. Ano ang hinahanap? Cost of goods sold. Paano raw siya kina-calculate? Comment your answers on the comment section. Hanggang dito na lang ang ating lesson, guys. And I want to congratulate you for your graduation. At sana ay marami kayong matutunan sa ating mga lessons sa accounting. Have a nice day.